Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Visual Communication. My name is Adam Rozeski. It's a pleasure to see each and every one of you, and welcome to the end of week one. That's correct. End of week one. I'm so excited to be here. I'm really excited you guys made it through. Hope you guys enjoy. I hope everybody enjoyed the lecture. I know it was a little bit long this week, but just kind of getting everybody used to the class and letting know how it goes down and what you need to know to make sure you succeed. And that's really important. However, I figured I'd end the week with just a quick few announcements and a couple of quick things. But before we get into those last announcements, I figure I'd talk to you about just some things that might help you with your assignment this week. So a lot of times when we do visual design or try to find usability or UX, we tend to use the five major rules that we discussed, right? You know, simplicity, navigation, engagement, and organization and so on. Yes, that and clarity. Those are the big five that we always work with a lot. However, I figured I'd show you how those five rules play with a set of heuristics, which is technically a set of guidelines that a company that I know that does really good website design called Sharpen Productions is this is like their mantra they follow by. And this might help you with your assignment this week. This is just more for just kind of knowing some things and helping out with understanding visuals and layout online. So, yeah, so of course, when we talked about the first five major rules of heuristics, we talked about, of course, clarity, where everything's clear, simplicity, where it's simple, easy to understand, proximity, layout, organization. This all plays a part here within proximity, where everything's focused on. You also have engagement. You want users to come back and reuse your site because that's important, because you want that replayability or reusability to come back. So if it's a customer-based website, you want them to keep spending money on your website. So that's important. And then navigation. It's got to be easy to use, easy to understand, easy to go back too. So that's really a huge thing. Now, a lot of times in software, we tend to come up with a set of guidelines, and we call them heuristics. But heuristics are all just a set of guidelines or kind of agreed upon rules, and I put quotation marks as in agreed upon, to follow about, because they can be changed over time, but it's nice to have a set of kind of just goals that the whole group wants to follow and agreed upon by a group of people. And Sharpen Productions as an organization has their own heuristics and design rules that is set for each of their projects. So they know what the goals they want to attain overall, not only the individual goals of the project that they want. And I figure I'd talk to you about them, and some of them you'll kind of see relates into what their visuals are designed and how they follow along the five major rules. Now, there's something also that some of them are just like tech-based specifically, but this will help out. So, sorry about that. So the first three is simple is beautiful, and this kind of plays with like organization and layout, right? With proximity. So not cluttered, easy, ready to use. It's simple. It's right there, ready to go about everything. And the biggest thing is the second rule. It kind of applies to their second rule, where design is paramount, because that first impression, those first 5 seconds that you look at it, if it's easy, you can kind of feel for it, drive around with it. It's going to be really easy to utilize, and that look and feel with it. And navigation should be intuitive as well, because you want to use a well-organized system that's very top-down design. That's how they've succeeded with like their mobile apps and their websites. So very top-down based with the information. And that's how they work. There's the 3 rules right there. 1, it's got to be clear with clarity. 2, it's got to be simple and beautiful, simple, easy to use. And then navigation as well. So there's some really great things. Those 3 rules play a part of the 3 out of the 5 main requirements right there. Now, the next 3 for Sharpen Productions is consistency. They always feel like consistency is key, because each page should be consistent in organization, because that way your viewer is not changed on how they should review information with their products. And that's why consistency is always a necessary thing. That's why a lot of times when you like see websites where they're always like the same page color and the same format and template, because that way you know where everything's at so you can move around. And colors are crucial. You always want to use strong, consistent color palettes. Don't use all of it. These 2 rules are really key with Sharpen Productions, and it goes great with website design. You also want to make sure your website's responsive. And now we're starting to get into some technical aspects not really kind of play with the 5, but they help out. So yes, websites should be responsive. That's a big thing for Sharpen Productions, and I think for any type of software. Must be accessible to all devices. It can be used across all devices. So there's a lot of different distribution, but also it's got to work quick. If there's any lag or anything, that's a problem. And that also is a problem with usability and navigation. If you can't navigate to a site fast enough, then it's going to cause frustration, and you don't want that. And then finally, the last 4, like I said, some of these are going to be more just for Sharpen Productions rules, but they do kind of focus on the other 2 elements that we were talking about. So the first one is they want to develop for multiple browsers. So it got to work for Google. It's got to work for Apple with Safari, Bing, all these other search browsers. They want to make sure everything applies properly. Secondly, they want to make sure to check the site for errors, and this kind of applies into clarity a lot. You make sure everything's clear, easy to understand. There's no errors with any of your sites or any of your information or any of the visuals along it. You want to be perfect because it all plays professionally, right? And if there are errors, it'll assume that viewers will think that you don't finish your work or you're not professional enough to see those things. So you want to make sure everything's presented properly. Edit your site. Errors confuse users constantly. And this next one's more just for them. They prefer to write their own code for websites rather than using like template and third-party systems. Gives them more control a lot of times instead of just being forced to use the template. And then finally, the biggest thing is don't forget content with Sharpen Productions. Their last heuristic. And with proper original content, it allows more engagement with users. So they add more content constantly to their websites that allows people to come back to their sites and come back to use their websites and their engagement. So yeah, that's all important right there. And that ties into that 5th one that we didn't talk about, engagement. You want to keep that engagement for viewers. So I figured I would share this set of heuristics with everyone. That way it can help you kind of see when you're going through Jennifer Shipp's article how these kind of play a part with those bad visual design mistakes, and how you can see the comparison between those. So just some extra food for thought. Figured it'd be good to share this. Really helps out with this assignment. Now, I do have an assignment. I did make a mistake on the lecture. I just wanted to tell you that real quick. So let me go back to the site. Boom. So yeah, I have the calendar up right now. So I did mention in the lecture, if everybody's seen the lecture from Thursday, that lecture was moved to Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. That was incorrect. I made a mistake because lecture is actually the hour after that. So it's actually at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, not 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. So please make sure that you do not show up an hour before at 7 o'clock Eastern, which is 6 o'clock Central. Please make sure to show up the next hour after, which is 8 p.m. Eastern. So that's a thing. So don't worry about it. It'll be on the announcement, and it'll be on the lecture announcement on Monday. So that way it's there. I just remembered it. I think I said something in the lecture, and it's just been bothering me all week. And I went back and viewed it. I'm like, oh yeah, I did say it was going to be the exact same time, but just on Tuesday. That's not the case. It's just an hour later. That's it. So if you're on the East Coast, and I usually start my lectures at 7 since I'm in Florida, it'll go to 8 o'clock. It'll start at 8. That's it, but it's on Tuesday. I do all my lectures on Tuesday. Then I have office hours afterwards. So if our lectures run after for a little bit, it's not a big deal. But yeah, that's the only big announcement. Just want to let everybody know that the lectures are still on Tuesday. They're just an hour later, actually. I just made a mistake. But also do keep in mind you have your discussion post due tonight, and then you have your written assignment and your lecture assignment due Sunday. So don't forget about those. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. If you're running any issues, please contact me. I'm here to help you out. Other than that, be safe, have fun. I'll be reporting. Wow, I just messed that up pretty good. I will be commenting on some of your discussions today, so hope to see you there. And that's pretty much it. Have a great weekend, and I'll see everybody for next week's lecture and next week's assignment. So have a great one, be safe, and have fun. Enjoy.